Alexei Navalny is brutally murdered by the Kremlin. Latvian president condemns Russia as critic once poisoned by Putin, collapses and dies after walk, months after he was moved to Polar Wolf prison. Alexei Navalny was brutally murdered by the Kremlin, Latvia's president has said, after Russia reported today the jailed opposition leader had collapsed and died. Russian news outlets announced Navalny's death, citing the Siberian prison service where he was serving his sentence. The Federal Prison Service said in a statement that he felt unwell after a walk and lost consciousness. An ambulance arrived to try to save him, to no avail, it added. Vladimir Putin's staunchest domestic critic, Navalny, once survived an assassination attempt involving Russia's Novichok nerve agent. Until his death, he was serving time on charges of extremism after being sentenced to 19 years in prison. The 47-year-old was last seen via video link during a court hearing on Thursday. He appeared to be in good spirits, laughing and joking from his cell. On February 16, 2024, in Correctional Colony No. 3, convict Navalny AA felt unwell after a walk, almost immediately losing consciousness, said a statement from prison officials. Emergency doctors confirmed the death of the convict, it added. Navalny's spokesperson said on the X social media platform that she was unable to confirm his death. Kira Yarmish said that Navalny's lawyer was traveling to the site of the prison where he had been serving his sentence. Leonid Volkov, a Navalny aide, said, "The Federal Penitentiary Service in the Yamalo-Nenets district is disseminating news about the death of Alexei Navalny in IK3. We don't have any confirmation of this yet. Alexei's lawyer is now flying to Karp. As soon as we have any information, we will report it." Russia's TASS news agency reported that Navalny did not complain about health problems before his apparent death. Putin has been informed about his rival's death, his spokesman confirmed. Dmitry Peskov said, "As far as we know, in line with all the existing rules, the FSIN prison service are running all the checks and establishing all of that. No orders are needed for that because there is a certain set of rules for these occasions." Asked if it was true there was a blood clot, he said, I don't know. The medics should establish." Reports of his death prompted shock and anger across Europe, with Latvia's president saying Navalny had been brutally murdered by the Kremlin. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak paid tribute to the fiercest advocate for Russian democracy, saying Navalny was a prominent and persistent critic of Putin who had demonstrated incredible courage throughout his life. Prime Minister said, "This is terrible news. As the fiercest advocate for Russian democracy, Alexei Navalny demonstrated incredible courage throughout his life. My thoughts are with his wife and the people of Russia, for whom this is a huge tragedy." France said the opposition leader had paid with his life for resisting oppression, while German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said Navalny paid for his courage with his life. The EU said it held President Putin's Russia solely responsible for the death. Alexei Navalny fought for the values of freedom and democracy. For his ideals, he made the ultimate sacrifice. European Council President Charles Michel posted on X. The EU holds the Russian regime for sole responsible for this tragic death. Navalny was also seen in January, when he was moved to a Russian penal colony in the Arctic Circle, smiling and laughing while in court via video link. The hearing was for one of many lawsuits he filed against the penal colony. This particular one challenged one of his stints in a punishment cell. At the hearing, Navalny cracked jokes about the Arctic weather and asked if officials at his former prison threw a party when he was transferred. His allies decried the transfer to a colony in the town of Karp, in the Yamalo-Nenets region about 1,200 miles northeast of Moscow, as yet another attempt to force Navalny into silence. The remote region is notorious for long and severe winters. Karp is about 60 miles from Vorkuta, whose coal mines were part of the Soviet Gulag prison camp system. Navalny miraculously survived a suspected assassination attempt with a nerve agent in August 2020 during a flight. He was evacuated to a hospital in Germany, and the use of a Novichok nerve agent was later confirmed. Despite knowing he would be detained, the father of two returned to Russia in January 2021. He has been behind bars ever since and has received 3 prison sentences, all of which he rejected as politically motivated. Before his arrest, he campaigned against official corruption, organized major anti-Kremlin protests, and ran for public office. Since then, he had spent months in isolation at prison colony number 6 before his transfer to IK6. He was repeatedly placed in a tiny punishment cell over alleged minor infractions, like buttoning his prison uniform wrong. They also refused to give him his mail, deprived him of writing supplies, denied him food he had ordered and paid for in addition to regular meals, and would not allow visits from relatives, Navalny argued in his lawsuits, challenging his treatment. In his last post, Navalny had sent a Valentine's message to his wife Yulia, 47. It read, "Baby, everything is like in a song with you. Between us there are cities, the takeoff lights of airfields, blue snowstorms and thousands of kilometers. But I feel that you are near every second, and I love you more and more." Navalny's reported death comes a month before Russia's presidential elections, which will run from March 15th to March 17th. Putin is widely expected to win, keeping him in power until at least 2030.